Hockey for Kids podcast, the hockey show made for kids by a kid, and that kid, and your host, Adrian.
And I'm his dad, Matt. Don't attempt this at home without parental supervision.
On today's episode, we're talking a huge question. Who is the greatest hockey player of all time?
Ooh, now this is a big debate. Now, there have been so many amazing hockey players, but we're going to talk about 6 of the best. We're going to talk about Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Bobby Orr, Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, and, of course,
his favorite,
Connor
McDavid.
Exactly.
Look at what made each of them special and try to figure out who deserves the top spot.
And we want to hear from you. I mean, who's your pick for the GOAT? So email us at majorhockeyforkids@gmail.com to let us know.
And don't forget your name.
Yeah. Oh, great point. Okay, let's get started.
Before we jump in, what makes a player the greatest? Is it goals and points, Stanley Cups, skill, leadership?
Some people say stats matter the most. Like Gretzky, for example, has the best numbers ever.
Others look at skill, like Lemieux was a magician on the ice, and no one has ever combined the stick handling, speed, and skating skills like McDavid.
Now, then you got players that change the game, right? Like Bobby Orr with his end-to-end rushes and Ovi teeing up his unstoppable one-timers.
And what about Crosby, whose Stanley Cups, gold medals, and constant plays has made him one of the best for almost 20 years?
Yeah, great points. Now, let's break down these 6. All right, first up, we've got Gretzky, also called
the Great One.
Now, his records are really crazy. It's insane. 894 goals.
Which is
insane. 1,963 assists, 2,857 points. I mean, he is the NHL's greatest record breaker.
One thing, Alexander Ovechkin, only 10 goals away.
Ooh, that's
He's only at 884 goals away. He's only 10 goals away from beating Gretzky's record.
He's close.
And the season's not even...
No, he's still got like 20 some odd games left.
20 some odd games. I think he'll break it.
He might. Now, what about points, though?
No one has ever scored 200 points in a season except Gretzky. And he did it 4 times, which if my calculations are correct, that's 800 points.
Your calculations are correct. Wow, that is impressive. Now, he also won 4 Stanley Cups, but you know what? Some people say he played in an era where it was like really easy to score, right? Like, I mean, you remember seeing the videos of Gretzky scoring? Those goalies, do they look really great? No, they don't, right?
No offense to any of those goalies.
Exactly. Now, do you think that takes away from his greatness?
No.
No?
I think maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit, right?
But the slightest bit, like the size of a mustard.
Oh, the size of a mustard seed. Oh, wow. The smallest of all seeds.
Small.
I love it. Okay, next up is Mario Lemieux.
Mario Lemieux is one of the most skilled players ever, but injuries and sickness cut his career short. So he also is the biggest what if.
Yeah, that's true. Now, even with that, he was amazing. You want to talk about stats? He scored 1.88 points
per game.
That's second to only one person. Who?
Wayne Gretzky.
Exactly.
He won 2 Stanley Cups and had some wild moments, like the time he scored 5 different goals in 5 different ways in one game.
5 goals in 5 different ways. What are you talking about?
He scored a normal goal on the power play, shorthanded, on a penalty shot, and an empty netter. And don't forget that goal that he scored on Casey.
Oh, that goal in the Stanley Cup Finals. That was
and
great.
It made him win.
Exactly. Now, if he had stayed healthy, do you think he could have beaten Gretzky's records?
No.
You don't think? Yeah, he's really good. Would have been tough.
Now let's talk about a guy who changed hockey forever. Bobby Orr.
Now, Bobby Orr played defense, but he changed how defensemen played the game.
Before him, defensemen mostly stayed back, but Orr took the puck from one end to the other to spot some beauty goals, set up plays, and won 8 best defensemen awards in a row.
Wow. 8 best defenseman awards. Now, that reminds me kind of who?
Kind of Cale Makar.
That is kind of like Cale Makar. Like, he was kind of the original Cale Makar, which is impressive.
Well, Cale Makar is the modern Bobby Orr.
Oh, modern Bobby Orr. Good point. Now get this. Bobby Orr even led the whole league in scoring 1 year. And I'll tell you something. That has
never.
It's never happened. It never happened before that, and it's never happened since.
Well, I think Cale Makar could do it.
Cale Makar could, possibly.
I could see him doing it.
Yeah, he could. Now, let's not forget about Bobby Orr's most famous goal.
Flying through the air after scoring the Stanley Cup winner.
Oh, that was a beauty. Now, two bad injuries ended his career early. I mean, if he had played longer, do you think he would be in more GOAT conversations?
I'd say so.
Yeah, he might be, right? Okay, now let's talk about our modern day legend, Sidney Crosby. Now, he's been one of the best players in the world for almost 20 years.
Which is insane. He's been playing hockey for 20 years.
He's played for 20 years, almost 20 years. Isn't that crazy? Now, he's one of your favorite players.
Maybe my favorite.
He is your favorite player. And why is he your favorite player?
Because of the Stanley Cup, that golden goal.
Oh, that golden goal in the Olympics, that was truly, I mean, it was one of the biggest moments in hockey history, right? Yeah. Now, like, he's got 3 Stanley Cups, 2 MVPs, over 1,500 points. But
some people say he's not as flashy as Gretzky or Lemieux, but he's a complete player. He plays defense, wins faceoffs, and always steps up in big games. And he's a complete leader.
That's true. And like you said, he's very humble. I mean, he might not have Gretzky's records, but his all-around game is one of the best ever. All right. We're going to take a quick break here to have a message from our sponsor.
Today's episode of Major Hockey for Kids is brought to you by my amazing teachers who supervise mini sticks during recess. Thanks to the expert referee skills, almost nobody, has had to go back to class with a broken tooth or a grudge over a missed goal. Whether it's breaking up stick battles, reminding us that no slap shots actually means no slap shots, or stopping the game for an emergency bathroom break, they keep the game safe and mostly friendly.
So next time you score a goal, be sure to celebrate responsibly and maybe give your teacher a fist bump too.
Thanks, teachers. Now let's talk about one of the best goal scorers ever. The goal scoring machine, Alexander Ovechkin.
Okay. Ovi has close to 900 goals. And like you said, he's like just a few back of Gretzky's all-time record.
Actually, only 10 goals.
Only 10 goals. Now, if he stays healthy, he's going to break it for sure.
For sure. No doubt about it. His shot is deadly. He's been scoring from the same spot for almost 20 years. Goalies still can't stop
They
him.
can't stop it. I mean, they know the one-timer is coming, but they cannot stop it. And he finally won a Stanley Cup in 2018, proving that he's more than just a scorer. So now let me ask you this question. Do you think he needs more Stanley Cups to be in the GOAT debate?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not?
Absolutely.
You think he's right there?
He's right at the top of the list. Now let's talk about Connor McDavid, the future GOAT.
Ooh, yeah, future GOAT. Now, McDavid is the fastest, most skilled player in the NHL today. No doubt. I mean, watching him skate through the whole team is unreal. It's unreal. I mean, I was at a game recently where he literally went around the whole team, went right through the legs of a defenseman, and then went backhand shelf. You actually saw the game, and it wasn't like a bad goal either. Who was the goalie? It went back.
Jake Ottinger.
Yeah, Jake Ottinger went backhand shelf, like made him look like an amateur goalie. It was impressive.
He's already won multiple MVPs and scoring titles, and he's still in his prime.
No, there's only one thing he needs though.
Stanley Cup.
He needs a Stanley Cup. And then, do you think he could be in the GOAT conversation?
Yes.
You think so? I mean, they were so close.
They were so close against the Panthers, and hopefully they'll get a cup soon. But don't forget his recent gold medal with Canada at the Four Nations face. And if he keeps up this level of play, he'll have a chance to break some big records and force his way to the GOAT debate.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Okay, so let me ask you this question. GOAT time. If you had to choose your GOAT, who would you choose?
Alexander Ovechkin.
You'd be Ovi, hey? Why?
His goals, his humbleness,
Okay.
his leadership.
Okay, I have to go. I mean, Gretzky is the easy choice.
We all know that.
I know Gretzky.
He's the
Yeah, I know it is. I don't think Orr doesn't get enough credit. And I mean, your favorite player, Crosby, I mean, all that guy does is
win.
That's all he does, right? I mean, if he plays another 5 years, he might climb even higher in the debate. And McDavid, I mean, if we wait another 10 years, if he wins a few Stanley Cups, we might be talking about him as the GOAT.
And by the way, he was drafted in 2015, by the way, which was when I was born.
Ooh.
And I'm 9, so if he plays for another 10 years, he'll be like 19 seasons, which is one season away from what Alexander Ovechkin is.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Gretzky and then hopefully McDavid in the future.
Okay, in the future, he's not even on here, but I'm going to go with Connor McDavid, even though he's not even on here, I think.
Fair enough.
That's why this debate is so fun. It never ends. And we want to hear from you. who's your GOAT? Email us at majorhockeyforkids@gmail.com to let us know. We'll share some of your picks in the next episode. And don't forget your name.
Absolutely. Love it.
Okay, that's it for today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Major Hockey for Kids podcast. And remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Keep dreaming big. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be in the GOAT conversation. Catch you later, fans.